Welcome everyone to another episode of Kindling the Hearthfire. I want to wish everyone a happy autumnal equinox or autumn equinox. I hope everyone has a wonderful time, however they celebrate this time of year. Our Protogrove here in the South Bay is having a lovely ritual with a scrumptious potluck afterward. We have a wonderful episode for you this time round, so let's get started. All websites and sources will be listed with links in the show notes as per usual. Now on to the rest of the podcast. This time I am hoping to get back on track and discuss what the Welsh did during this time of year. During this time, traditionally, there is a festival that goes on in Wales. It's been moved to August 1st in recent years because apparently during the autumnal equinox, there's a lot of rain, so they would usually get rained out. But this particular festival is still ongoing, and it's been ongoing since about the 12th century on and off. It came into a sort of revival thanks to Iolo. Let's see, how do you spell that? There it is. Iolo Morganwg. And he led the festival in the 1819 version of it. And this festival was called an Eisteddfod, which is technically the word for session, but it's a festival of poetry and music and dance and Welsh culture. And it's been ongoing since the 12th century, and it's still being held today. The latest one that I can point to happened in 2019. And where did it occur in 2019? It's actually, I'm looking at the website here. And the 2019 Eisteddfod was held from the 3rd of August to the 10th in Conway County in Wales. And the tickets were on sale from the 1st of May. So they usually go up on sale the middle of April to the 1st of May is when tickets for the event actually go on sale. So in 2020, the next Eisteddfod will be held on the 1st to the 8th of August, and it's going to be in Tregaron. And once again, the tickets don't go on sale until the middle of April, so check out the website, which will be in the show notes if you want to go to an Eisteddfod or an Welsh festival of music, dance, choir music, poetry that has been going on and off since the 12th century. Let's see if I can go back to the official website. Because there's actually, they tell a little bit of their history, and it's an interesting article, actually. If I could just get to it. Their website is a little bit, shall we say, hard to navigate because a lot of it is in Welsh. So if you speak English and you don't know any Welsh, it's a little bit hard to navigate or that kind of thing. All right, so here's their description of the Eisteddfod and its current modern incarnation. Held during the first week of August every year, the National Eisteddfod is a celebration of the culture and language in Wales. The festival travels from place to place, alternating between North and South Wales, attracting around 150,000 visitors and over 250 trade stands and stalls. The history of the Eisteddfod in Wales can be traced back to 1176, with the modern history of the organization dating back to 1861. The festival has been held every year, other than 1914 when the outbreak of the First World War saw it postponed for a year. Traditionally a competition-based festival attracting over 6,000 competitors every year, The festival has developed and evolved over recent years, and while the competitions form the central focus for the week, the site itself has grown and developed into a vibrant festival with hundreds of events and activities for the whole family. The Estivad is a natural showcase for music, dance, visual arts, literature, original performances, and much more. Encompassing all aspects of the arts and culture in Wales, it is an inclusive and welcoming festival, which attracts thousands of Welsh learners and those who do not speak the language, as well as Welsh speakers every year. Translation services are available in the pavilion, and bilingual information is available. We also have a Center for Learning Welsh on the site. So this is a wonderful festival. If you ever want to go to Wales during that time of year, check out getting tickets to this festival because it sounds awesome. And their website is also very, very knowledgeable, and they have lots of information on their website, which will also be in the show notes. So once again, it's a festival that has been running almost continually since the 1100s. So you should probably check it out if you're ever in the area. All right. So next up for the talky bit of the podcast, we have an introduction to a new, how do we put this? It's a new program, kind of, from ADF. It's called the Hearthkeeper's Way, and it's being made available to both ADF members and non-ADF members as a kind of intro to ADF ritual structure in a more personal way, in a more personal space, and a little bit, I won't say that. It's not dumbed down. It's more like it's simplified into the basic structures. So anyone, even non-ADF members or people who are completely unfamiliar with how ADF does things, can understand it and work with it and get very good results from it. So what I'm going to read to you now is the introduction given to me through email from for the Hearthkeeper's Way. This program was developed through the initial work of Ian Corrigan to develop a hearthway in which to allow members and non-members a way to do the work of our druidry in the context of hearth practice outside of a formalized study program. A group of priests consisting of Reverends Jan Vende, Sarah Blackwelder, Kirk Thomas, and Lisa Wizowalski Malik began to compile and produce the work that has become the Hearthkeeper program, an ADF Hearthkeeper's Guide. We want to thank them for this wonderful work and are proud of the result. We are as excited to have this go out to members and non-members alike as we are to participate in our hearth. An excerpt from the documentation of Hearthkeeper's Way. The Hearthkeepers of ADF are those individuals, families, small groups that have aligned themselves and at least a portion of their practice to ADF. The Hearthkeeper's Way is a method of worship for the folk of our druidry. To become a Hearthkeeper is to devote yourself to the essential work of druidry, to welcome the gods and spirits to your hearthfire, to keep the holy days, and to integrate paganism into your daily life. Being a Hearthkeeper is about keeping the flames of piety active for your hearth. When we worship as Hearthkeepers, not only are we feeding the hearthfire of ADF, but we are also coming together with other hearths. We know that though our Hearthkeepers are worshiping in different physical locations, they join us in the same practice. Each Hearthkeeper brings their style to their worship, and by joining one another in shared practice, we experience a new sense of belonging and fellowship. And if you want more information about the Hearthkeeper's Way, throw me an email and I could probably send you in the direction to get more information about that. Me personally, I've been practicing the Hearthkeeper's Way since it came out about 2 weeks ago. So it's been a load of fun. It's also been a little bit of work to actually consistently do Hearthkeeper's practices every single day. But it's also been a lot of fun, and it's been very rewarding as well. So, and we have, as for a special treat, we have a recording from, let's see, who is singing this. It is Sacred Keeper of the Flame, and it is sung by Reverend Sarah Blackwelder. And you will find the words for the Sacred Keeper of the Flame in the documentation for the Hearthkeeper's Way, if you want to take a look there. But this is actually a recording of one of the pieces inside the Hearthkeeper's Way in the form of song. And Sarah has a beautiful voice, and it is gorgeous to listen to. And if you want to meld this into your own practice, this is a lovely piece to start with. So let's give that a listen.
Sacred Keeper of the Flame, shine within us here today. Take our words and deeds above, accept our offerings. Purify us, lead and guide us, aid us as we pray. Fill our hearts with hope and love, illuminate our way.
Thank you, Sarah, for that lovely recording, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. All right, so moving on from that, we have our usual recipe for this time of year. And this time of year is a harvest festival, so you're going to be getting a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruits, a lot of things coming in fresh for this time of year. So a perfect thing to do with all the fresh vegetables that you'll be getting this time of year is a harvest ratatouille. All right, so the ingredients for this are as follows. You need 8 to 10 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 yellow onions, chopped, 3 large or small zucchini sliced into 1/4 inch thick slices, 1 large eggplant sliced into chunks the same size as the zucchini slices. And if you're like me, squash will work just fine, considering I absolutely do not like eggplant in any shape or form. So if you like eggplant, go ahead and put it in. But if you don't, any type of other kind of squash that you happen to like is perfectly fine for this particular recipe. Okay, 5 large tomatoes chopped, 1 bell pepper seeded and coarsely chopped, 1 red bell pepper seeded and coarsely chopped, 2 garlic cloves minced, salt and freshly ground pepper to taste, and tomato paste to taste. And this is also optional. If you don't want to put tomato paste, that's perfectly fine, but it is there. All right, what you're going to do is you're going to heat the 5 to 6 tablespoons of the olive oil in a large, heavy-bottomed skillet over medium heat. Add the onions and saute about a minute until fragrant and softened. Add the zucchini and eggplant and saute about 2 minutes until slightly browned. Add more olive oil as needed if the pan looks dry. Add the tomatoes, peppers, garlic, and stir to combine. Cover, reduce heat to low, and simmer to about 20 minutes until veggies are cooked through. Take off the lid, add other add-ins if you like. Increase the heat to high and cook for 2 to 3 minutes to evaporate excess liquid, stirring constantly. Season to taste with salt and pepper. Add a little tomato paste if using and stir well. Serve hot or allow to cool and add a little olive oil before serving. It serves about 6 people in these proportions. I've always loved the idea of ratatouille and squash and all that stuff mixed together, so this sounds absolutely lovely, and I would love to have this at any of our rituals, and just in general, just particular. So, all right. So next up, we have our book review. And the latest book that I have read that has some Druidry tendencies is The Hidden Life of Trees. It was a New York Times bestseller not that long ago, and it talks about what trees, the subtitle for it is What They Feel and How They Communicate, Discoveries from a Secret World. And this is written by Peter Wohlben. I believe that's German. But it's a lovely, lovely book. And I loved reading it. It's very conversational, but it has a ton of information in it without getting too academic sounding, which is some of the problem with you have some books that do. There are tons of citations inside the work itself. There's an index in the back in case you're looking for particular topics. And there's lots of notes, acknowledgments. And within the notes, they have quite an extensive bibliography, or at least books that they're quoting from in the notes, and just comments there and where they got their information, and it's quite extensive. Let's see, how many pages is it? It's 1, 2. Okay, so from page 252 to 260, so about 8 to 9 pages of reference material if you want to do more research, or if you want to find out where he got a lot of his information from. And also another component of this is a lot of this actually came from himself and his observations as a professional forester in the forests of Germany. And it was a wonderful read, and there was lots of interesting information. So going back to my three criteria for a book: it's very readable, it's extremely well put together, and very readable. It doesn't get very high-minded with the language. It's very conversational, and you can understand a lot of it, even for the most basic of readers. And there's also lots of information in the back for more advanced readers who want more academic papers and things like that. It's very readable. It's very rereadable. I mean, you can get tons of information from this book over the course of 3 or 4 readings, and there's lots of notes in the back you can always look for, and it's got a lot of reference points that you can look for. So it's very readable, very rereadable, and the references are kind of awesome. I mean, there's the index in here if you want to find different topics you're looking for. It also has lots of books you can research, and it's very complete. It's got lots of websites even that you can research. It's a more modernly published book, so it's got websites in there as well as books and magazines, things like that. So the references are very complete and very extensive as well. So it checks off on all the points that I'm looking for. It's very readable, it's very rereadable, and the references are awesome. So if you want to check this book out, it's The Hidden Life of Trees by Peter Wohlben. And he's got other books out too that I saw in the bookstore that I really wanted to pick up, but I wanted to pace myself. So he's got several other books out that are about, I believe they're about the secret life of animals, and also about how to read the weather, the signs of the weather as well. And he does actually reference a lot of for global warming and for climate change as well. And there's lots of interesting little tidbits in here. So it's a wonderful book. I love the cover as well. Beautiful artwork on the cover. It's just all around really, really great read and great book for reference and just for plain reading. So definitely this is something that belongs on the shelf for me and for anyone who likes trees or is wanting to read scientific works on climate change and trees in general. Okay, so that was my book review. And next up we have the calendar. And it's pretty much the same as it was last time because it is getting towards the end of the festival season. And it's the same 2 festivals that are coming up in October, Harvest Nights Gathering and the Rocky Mountain Retreat. The Rocky Mountain Retreat is being held in Denver, Colorado on the 14th of October to the 16th. And you can get more information about them at the Chokecherry Grove website. And once again, all my show notes are going to have the website and links to those types of things as well. And the Harvest Nights Gathering is October 21st to the 23rd at Camp Bonnie Bray in Otis, Massachusetts. And once again, their website is in the show notes. So that's pretty much the calendar for the rest of the year. So if you have any other festivals that are coming up after October 23rd, I would love to hear about them so I can actually have a calendar for the next couple of episodes, because the next festival isn't until February, as far as I'm aware. But if you have any other local festivals you would like to hear me talk about or have more information about, let me know by emailing me at kindlingthehearthfire@gmail.com. All right. Wrapping up, I would first like to thank you all for listening, and those of you who submitted content, thank you. I would especially like to thank, again, Bonnie Landry and Sarah Blackwelder for both of their contributions and their voices, the songs that they contributed to this podcast episode. Bonnie with Fire Burn Bright, and Sarah with Sacred Keeper of the Flame. If you have any ideas, celebrations, poems, songs, invocations, or anything else that you'd like to hear included in the podcast, please send them to kindlingthehearthfire@gmail.com. And also, if you see our podcast on Anchor, there's actually a section for you to... It's only available on the app, oddly enough. It's not available on the website as of yet. So check it out if you have the Anchor app and you want to send comments in or get things heard that are on the podcast. It's fairly simple to use, and it's a really easy way to get your thoughts and comments heard. All right, so you can find our podcast on Stitcher, iTunes, Anchor, Patreon, and on Google Play. Be well, and may you continue to pray with a good fire.